whenever I find myself thinking negatively, I will stop myself and I will think about, why am I looking at it like this? Because these are the good things. Why am I only looking at the negative?
Mm-hmm.
And I used to think ahead of time and create like these little scenarios in my head of like, what is the worst thing that could happen type thing. And I'd focus on that instead of, these are the good things that can happen.
Mm-hmm.
And like I had told you before, I had started a journal, and
Yeah, exactly,
it
Beard.
helps writing things down about what you're feeling and then going back and reading it. And once you realize the negativity that you were feeling then, and you're like, why was I thinking about it this way?
Mm-hmm.
Why was I not seeing the good of the situation?
Like, what's your journey as Scribble Ninja? Because I know as a you're a Twitch partner and that for a long
Yes.
time now. So you have quite something to tell tonight to us. Maybe you can introduce yourself quite quick again.
Yeah, so I have been broadcasting for 13 years. I started whenever it was just in TV originally. And I got partner about 2.5 years after I started broadcasting. I did everything though. I did like painting, cooking shows, and gaming and everything. But it really took off with my gaming. Modern Warfare 2 specifically, was really good at it. Joined an MLG team for a little while there and played that, and just had a lot of fun. I've been just enjoying Twitch for the last 10 years. And, we've had our ups and downs as a streaming community. And I hope, that will just continue to get better from here.
Yeah, absolutely. I think what's really amazing for me tonight to have you here is especially because what happened, like for me personally last week. I had, and I think a lot of people also in the community, you don't know yet, but we had to deal with quite some stress this week, and it was about suicide. It is about depression. It is about that we are living in 2021. We had a terrible 2020, and I
Yes.
think many people feel the pressure right now. So I think this title, How to Become Unfuckwithable, um, came for me, or not only because of your story, also because of what happened, also for us this week. Because at the end, it's about how we get out of this, and
Mhm.
the past doesn't matter no more. So what I had is I prepared a little video tonight. I would like to share with you guys. And maybe we can just watch this quick and then we tune into your story again.
Yeah.
Are you ready, guys, in the chat? Can we watch something with you together? It's a little, let's say it's like a little definition of, what is unfuckwithable, what it is about. Galatron! Let's do it. Let's do it. No! Bloody. All right, guys. Then Joe, you hit it up and we will meet yourselves quick here. I think what strikes me the most all the time I see that, especially with social media and gaming, is that we always think like, what do other people think? Was my show good enough? Was my gaming good enough? Am I good enough? Um, but I think when we understand that it doesn't matter, um, we feel much lighter. We don't have to carry so much, right?
Definitely.
So back to your story. Um, can we start at your story at the beginning? I know suicide was quite a topic for you.
Yes.
How did it start for you? When did you get in touch with that the first time? And what is the story behind that?
Well, when I was 13, my dad had committed suicide, and that just kind of threw my world upside down, so to
Mhm.
speak. I was a complete daddy's girl. I wanted to do everything for my dad because I felt he deserved the world because he was such a good man. He wanted everything for me. He wanted success. He wanted me to have a really good life. And so in seeing him and all of his hard work and knowing that he was, I could tell he was kind of sad, but I thought maybe it was just because, like, my parents had gotten divorced whenever I was younger. So I thought maybe he was just lonely, trying to handle everything with that. But he never really seemed to kind of let it get to him. Especially when I was with him, we'd had tons of fun. We'd hang out all the time. We'd go to the movies. We'd go riding horses. It was just always a fun time together. So when he passed away, I lost almost like my identity, because my goals and everything were driven around trying to give him what he wanted, what he always wanted out of life, like this beautiful house with horses and a nice little corral so we can train our own horses and, just enjoy life together. So it was very difficult. A little bit after that is when I actually got introduced to the streaming community. And at that time, like I said, it was more of a live broadcasting type thing. People talking about their different experiences or broadcasting their lives. So you'd see everything that they were doing every day. I thought that was really interesting. And, just suicide, I don't know. It's hard to explain. Sorry.
Did you think about, no, don't worry. Did you think about suicide, like after you fell into depression yourself then? What's the connection?
I was in shock for quite a few years. And I kind of put my grieving on the back end because I wanted to make sure my brother and my sister were okay. For whatever reason, when it happened, my mindset was, oh my gosh, I hope my brother and my sister don't commit suicide. I need to make sure that they're okay. And so my focus became making sure that my sister got help, that she was okay. My brother, because they felt really guilty because the weekend that my father ended up committing suicide, he wanted all of us to go to dinner with him and spend time with him. And I was the only one that went. I was the only one who went to dinner and the movies with him. And so they felt a lot of regret, and they thought maybe it was their fault, but it wasn't. So I just really wanted to make sure they were fine.
And are you the oldest one? Are you the oldest one?
I'm the youngest.
Sister? The youngest.
I'm the little sister. Yeah. I'm the youngest of the three of us.
Okay.
So that was really difficult.
Yeah, that's a lot of weight you put on yourself there.
Yes, I did. But after I realized that they were okay and they made it through their hard times after a few years, then it finally hit me that he was gone, and I started my grieving process. And that in itself was a roller coaster. I'd be fine, and then it would just hit me, and I would just be an emotional wreck. I didn't eat, honestly, for I think it was like a week or two. My mom had noticed I had not eaten anything, and I was getting super, super skinny. And she was like, you need to eat something. She's like, I know you're really depressed, but you need to eat. Sorry.
No, it's okay. Take your time. Yeah, that was like with 14, 15, something like that then?
Yeah, I was 13 whenever I finally started dealing with it. I was like 15, 16.
When was the turnaround for you?
I wanted to, I wanted to help other people.
Take your time.
I didn't want my friends or family to ever go through anything like that ever again. Because I think what a lot of people don't see is that I know whenever you get in that mindset of where you think suicide might be the answer, sometimes it's like the remedy is that stopping your pain will end the pain that you think you're causing for others. But in the end, it actually ends up, from my experience, it made me even more sad And I don't want anybody to feel that hurt. So anytime anyone has come to me, or they say, even if it's their first time, like coming to my channel or something, and they say that they're having trouble with suicide, or, you know, even if it's like a joking comment, I'll ask them if they're okay, or if they need someone to talk to, if I can help them find somebody, because I just don't want somebody to go through that pain of losing somebody that they love and care about, because a lot of people don't realize how many people love and care about them, and that they have a huge support system around them that would help them if they knew what they were going through. And so in my last few years of high school, I actually did join a suicide prevention group. It was only 10 of us at the entire school. There's like 800 students there. There were only 10 of us. And we would go to middle schools and high schools and do conversations about what we experienced with suicide and how it affected everyone from that person's decision. And we just tried to really start the conversation, because I think that's the only way to really heal, is starting the conversation about suicide. And sometimes knowing that the people around you will be there to listen to you. If that's all you need, is someone to just talk, because sometimes you just need somebody to listen.
Yes.
You need somebody to hear what you're going through and what you're struggling with. So that was my goal for a very long time. And it's still, anytime someone comes to my channel and says they're suicidal or anything like that, I hop on it. I immediately start messaging them. I don't stop my broadcast or let anybody know that what's going on in the background, because I don't want to pull attention to it. I want that person to feel secure in knowing that I'm not going to start talking about their issues over the stream. And just put out a helping hand in case that they need it. Because I feel like, especially this last year, a lot of people have been coming out and coming to different streamers and kind of going, I've been struggling, I'm having a hard time, because they feel comfortable with that person. And I just want to try to help any way I can, again, so that nobody has to feel that pain.
You have you built your own community, right? As I saw on Discord, like they are super active.
Yeah, they've been becoming more and more active. When I did my 3-year break, I had like a cancer scare and stuff, and then I had moved away for a little while. And during that 3-year window that I had kind of gone back and forth, it was a very long break. I'm sorry. We had, our community kind of fell apart. Like, we still had probably 50 of us that would contact each other every once in a while to see if we were doing okay and stuff. But then once we started back up in 2015, it's been really active again. It's becoming more and more active and more inclusive. And our focus is family, being a family, helping one another, and taking care of one another.
That's great. That's great. When I would like to know, like, you're Twitch partner for 10 years now, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and you were even on Twitch before it was Twitch. It was just on TV, right?
Yes.
So I want to know, like, for you as a girl gamer, the beginnings of starting as a streamer, as a girl streamer, how did it feel for you? Did you have like, was it easy to get in, or you had to deal with, harassment of any kind or unacceptance?
Oh, yeah. It was very hard as a female streamer, especially as a female gaming broadcaster. Especially at the beginning, whenever it was JTV, there was a huge male dominance over the entire community. There were maybe about, I think, 10 of us girls that were consistent with gaming and broadcasting. It was super competitive. And you would have men come over from other channels and harass you and tell you, like, oh, you're fat, you're, a lot of really hurtful comments. And this was even before I gained weight. This was even whenever I was super skinny already as it was. I think if I would have lost another pound, I probably, like, you'd been able to see my skeleton essentially. Um, and so it was really hard to overcome that and get past the negative comments and just tell myself, you know what, these people don't know me. They're just saying these things because they're trying to put me down and stop me from broadcasting because they see it as a threat. And that's how I kind of looked at it. And I started just pushing it away and continued doing my thing and just remained happy. If somebody would come in and say negative comments, I just kind of push it off to the side and let my mods handle it. They would ban people or whatever.
Yeah.
But it was super hard.
How is it today for you? When somebody comes in, how is it today for you?
Oh,
like,
it's
does it feel different? Does it feel different from the inside? Are you different now, or is the situation different today?
I feel like the situation is different. I don't have to. The harassment isn't as bad on Twitch now as it was when Twitch initially started, especially. A lot more people are kind of stepping out of their comfort zone, I think, and combating the abuse as well, like the negative comments. I've noticed people I've never seen talk on my channel before. If somebody says something negative, they'll talk back and be like, who are you to say that? Or, get out of here. Like, and they just try to kind of defend you.
Okay.
And I feel like Twitch as a community in that aspect is getting better, but we still have a long way to go, especially with our female streamers. When I go into like a lot of the male streams of my guy friends, I never see any derogatory comments to them about their looks or anything like that, their gameplay, nothing. But whenever you go into a fellow female broadcaster, her channel, and they're broadcasting their gaming, I've noticed like comments, oh, you suck, or this or that, or, and
or the other way around,
Yeah.
I'm just thinking, I'm thinking right now, have you ever seen going into a male stream and they just imagine girl would say like, hey guy, you look sexy, or you look good, or whatever?
Yeah, I've never seen.
I'm just thinking, I mean, if I would do that, they would probably ban me or something,
Yeah.
It would look strange. I think it's just like, it's totally normal, I guess.
Yeah.
To do it on female streams, but not the other way around. I mean, to be honest, like me personally, I had it only like twice now on my stream. And one guy was just drunk and said like, oh, you look beautiful. He never said anything else and left the stream. So I didn't even care.
Yeah.
But that's it. But I don't know. It's just weird. I'm just asking because I'm not that long into the whole streaming thing. So for me, basically it started like 1 year ago. So I have no idea how it was like 10 years ago, but I can't imagine it is, it is quite a road there. So I want to ask again, like, did anything change for you personally when it comes down to your mindset to become unfuckwithable, and what changed that for you?
Honestly, I think it was when I took that 3-year break and I came back. And Twitch, again, the community was different. But when I first started back up, I had a lot of people, I think were from the original platform of JTV, were getting notifications that I started broadcasting.
Again, explain quick, what is JTV? It's
Justin TV.
Thank you.
So whenever it was Justin TV, I think they were still getting notifications whenever I'd go live. And they were trolls. That's all they did. That's any female broadcaster channel was the same people. They would make numerous accounts. They'd go in there. They'd tell you all kinds of horrible things. They'd copy and paste it 50 million times, which is why I love the new chat system, by the way. And when I came back, when people started trying to do that to me again, almost like throwing rocks at me, I was just like, I'm just going to ignore it. I'm not even going to give them the time of day, because I'm here to have fun with my community and game and just enjoy ourselves. And if I'm letting them and their ridiculous insults or whatever get to me, then I'm not going to be having fun with the people that I want to have fun with.
Yeah, and you give them the power.
Exactly. And I didn't want to, I didn't want to do that anymore. I didn't want to entertain any negative comments, nothing. So as people come into my channel, I'll just be like, oh, that's not very nice. And that's how I'll leave it. I won't react to it, nothing other than that. Or sometimes if it's just really horrible, I just act like I didn't even see it. And my mods will just immediately time them out or ban them. And, or sometimes, you know, depending on what they say, I'll turn it into a joke. And that usually makes the troll become nice. I don't know what it is about it, but I think these people are just looking to get a rise out of our broadcasters, specifically females. And I don't know, it doesn't bother me at all anymore. It doesn't even get under my skin anymore. I just kind of laugh about it now because I realize that it's more their insecurities than it is anything to do with me.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's interesting. Like Bloody Say said, like, I feel better when I'm being positive and being nice to people. If you turn this around, and you want to feel good, right? I mean, everyone wants to feel good inside, right? So if you turn this around, you being negative and not being nice to people also, I would say, makes yourself not feeling good about yourself.
Yes.
So I think once you understand, you know, the words you choose, it's always reflecting to your own inner peace. So I mean, we all have bad days, you know, don't get me wrong, I have it, but I definitely feel like I was also thinking about, it's so easy to say, like, you know, I don't give a crap what you're saying, you know, but at the end, if I'm not in a good place myself, it's really hard.
Yes.
If you know what I mean. Like,
yes.
I had to realize, like, when I'm not in a good place, I shouldn't stream. Like, it always reflects down to that I don't feel good about myself after the stream. I don't interact that much with people because you know, I'm not in a good place myself.
Yes.
Do you have like a very straight streaming schedule for yourself, and do you keep that?
I keep to it for the most part, but if I am having a bad day or I'm just really, really tired, I'll post it on Twitter and just say, I'm sorry, guys, tonight's stream is canceled. You know, I'm really tired, or, you know, I'm just, you know, sometimes I just don't feel good. So I don't want to be on stream, you know, trying to be happy, because sometimes it's exhausting being happy when you don't feel good.
Yes.
So it's, you know, I don't want to go on stream and pretend that I'm happy when I'm not.
Yeah,
because
right.
I feel like I'm just lying to myself and I'm lying to everybody, and that doesn't, like you said, it doesn't make me feel very good after the stream. It just makes me feel like I wasted everyone's time for a few hours instead of all of us enjoying it. Yeah. It's like I could have been sleeping. Yeah. Then I would have felt 10 times better for the next broadcast. You know, self-care and self-nurturing is probably one of the most important things you can do as a broadcaster, because the more you take care of yourself, the more happy you're going to be chatting with everyone. You're going to be able to relate to people easier. If somebody comes in, you're not going to misunderstand what somebody's saying when you're in a better mood or you have better rest as well. Because sometimes people come in, it's really hard to communicate through text sometimes. So someone will say something, and English may not be their first language, and it might come off the wrong way. And so then, you know, you're like, wait, what? And if you're in a bad mood already and you're trying to act happy, that's really going to kind of bring you down a little bit.
You're so right. I have that all the time. Like, for me being a German, and I feel so many times, like when I try to schedule, for example, you know, like pre-talks for this podcast, I always try to tell people, like, no, I can't text you. Please let's have a talk, because I feel so many things get lost in text, you know, and misunderstood. And at least if they misunderstand me, I can explain immediately, you know, and get myself out of my situation.
Yes.
So absolutely, I feel that's very true. You have to ask again, and that makes it very difficult sometimes, also in the chat. I would like to ask something in point of, I feel, and I'm not sure if that's right, but I feel we as women especially, we are very hard to ourselves when it comes down to perfectionism.
Yes.
I think it's more a woman thing, or is it a general thing right now these times, that we're always questioning ourselves? What is your experience with that?
I feel it's a general thing for anyone that does broadcasting in general, or just even like a daily thing. We are our own worst critics, and men go through it too. I know a few of my male gaming broadcasters have come to me and they tell me, you know, was I awkward on stream? Was I entertaining? Did I do this weird? Like, is my laugh weird? And it's like that. I think the same exact things when I'm broadcasting. And as you can tell, I've kind of moved past that because, again, if I'm happy with myself, then usually most people are accepting of that. They're like, okay, this person's secure. They're happy. They're fine with whatever. Like right now, like for this interview, I literally have no makeup on. I was just like, I was getting ready. I was like, no, I'm not feeling it. You know, if this was me a few years ago, I probably would have been freaking out and been like, oh my God, I'm going on camera without any makeup on. I would have felt really bad about myself and really self-conscious, but I don't care. I'm having fun.
Well, it looks like you've grown a lot inside, you know?
Yes, definitely.
Got a lot of more self-esteem.
Yeah, definitely.
Who taught you to get this kind of self-esteem? Did you do it yourself or did you have influences from the outside?
I had to do it for myself. I realized I was being very hurtful to myself and I had unrealistic expectations of myself.
Give me an example.
So I have hypothyroidism and I have bad depression myself. And so I went from being very thin to gaining a lot of weight after I had my daughter. And it was only 6 months after my daughter was born that my ex and I decided to break up. So then I was even more depressed and more self-conscious. And so I started gaining a little bit more weight. And it was then that I decided, you know, if I'm happy as I am right now, at my current weight, everything, why am I letting other people's expectations of me rule my life? Because it's not making me happy. Thinking that I need to lose weight right now and people will like me, I realize that it doesn't matter. It matters what's on the inside, and it matters if I'm happy and I'm honest of who I am and not what I look like. And whenever I accepted that and accepted that I'm happy with who I am right now and the way I look and I'm confident in myself, the other stuff doesn't matter. If I want to lose weight, then I'll make the decision to lose weight at that time and I'll do it for myself, not for anyone else. It's going to be for me. And once I think I made that initial decision, everything else just kind of fell into place and it was a lot easier. Like coming on broadcasting, like I said, not wearing makeup, I just don't care anymore. I'm like, I'm happy. I think I look fine. So it's been an interesting journey.
That's amazing. I think that's very, very helpful as well. Like accept yourself more. Yeah. Accept yourself, how you are, what you are, and not what you know. Thinking too much can hurt a lot.
Yes. Especially negative thinking.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Do you, in point of negative thinking, are you conscious about your thoughts? And if negative thoughts coming up, are you conscious about that and how you turn that around, if so?
Whenever I find myself thinking negatively, I will stop myself and I will think about, why am I looking at it like this? Because these are the good things. Why am I only looking at the negative? And I used to think ahead of time and create like these little scenarios in my head of like, what is the worst thing that could happen type thing. And I'd focus on that instead of, these are the good things that can happen. And like I had told you before, I had started a journal, and it helps writing things down about what you're feeling and then going back and reading it. And once you realize the negativity that you were feeling then, And you're like, why was I thinking about it this way?
Mm-hmm.
Why was I not seeing the good of this situation or the good that could come out of it? Like, why was I assuming that the most horrible thing ever from the situation would happen and that's just how it was going to be? It was really difficult, and it's very, very hard to change your mindset from always thinking of the negative to start thinking of the positives.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But once you wire your brain to look at nothing but the positives, it's so easy to look at nothing but the positive and seeing the positive in other people. So someone could come into my chat and be in a bad mood and just be really grumpy and mean. And I'll still think to myself, they're probably just having a really bad day. Or maybe they're having a really bad week. So I'm not going to hold it against them. I'm not going to judge this person on my first, interaction with this person, because the next time they could come in and they'll be perfectly fine and happy and, chatting up a storm. So like I said, it was just so hard to change the way my brain functioned in that way. And
when did you start? When did you start, if you can remember, and how long did it take you? Because as you said, I think it's a rewiring process.
Yes.
And it's a habit. Like, I think Skodon said that before. Something like negativity is just a habit or something. I can't see it no more, I'm sorry, but I think he said something like that, and I think that's true. Like, we are addicted to our thoughts, right? Like, yes. We are always thinking. We are thinking like a million thoughts a day, and the same thought. I saw some numbers sometime, but I can't remember. But I know it was a lot. Like, the same thoughts every day will repeat itself. Mm-hmm. And if you can imagine, you can control your thoughts, or you're trying to control your thoughts, and you reprogram yourself basically to this new mindset. You get out of your old habits and create some new habits.
Yes.
So again, sorry to the question.
No, you're fine.
When and how?
Honestly, it was after when my ex and I had broken up. I think that's when everything just had finally really hit me with everything. And I realized I need to stop looking at the negatives of all of this in my situation. And the only way I was going to turn things around was looking at the positives. Okay, this relationship ended, and now it's me and my daughter. But I'm also back in the city. I have more opportunity here because we were living out in the middle of nowhere. Mm-hmm. I was like, okay, I'm going to go back to school. So I've been going to school full time. Mm-hmm. I was like, I need to better my life so I can be happy, to be a good influence for my daughter. Mm-hmm. And I wanted her to be happy and not a negative or mean person. And I knew if I was negative and looking at the negative all the time, she was going to end up being a negative person.
Yeah.
And so it's been almost 7 years now. It was like in 2014 when all of this happened. So it's been a journey, and it took me probably till about my daughter was about 3 to really start being more positive without having to think about it. Now it's just second nature, I guess. I don't know. It's just
it's a habit. Easily. It's a habit you trained yourself. That's so interesting.
Yes.
I think you said you also started journaling, right?
Yes.
Tell me about it. Like, when did that start, and what are you journaling about?
A few years ago, I can't remember the exact year it started, but it helps me collect my thoughts. It helps me get my feelings out, because sometimes we don't always have people to talk to. Mm-hmm. And I've noticed if I just write things down, even if it's on like a word pad, if I don't have my journal to write in, I'll even type it in my phone on like my notes about how I'm feeling. And I'll go back to it a few hours later, sometimes the day after, and I'll read it. Mm-hmm. And it helps me collect my thoughts and where I'm at and what's bothering me. Because sometimes you just don't know what's actually bothering you. It seems like it's this one specific thing, but it's actually everything surrounding that problem that's bothering you and not the actual problem. It has helped me so much with decision making. And my journaling has become more consistent because I was in a really bad car accident last year in January. And so my memory is kind of messed up still. So my initial thing that my lawyer had told me, document everything and talk about everything that you feel every day. So doing it every single day instead of just when I was feeling bad has been helping a lot too. And then I'm not forgetting things that have been bothering me. Like I said, my memory has just been messed up. So sometimes something will really bother me and I'll be like, okay, I need to deal with this after I'm done doing this project or something.
Mm-hmm.
And then it will hit me a few days later and I'm like, God, why is this bothering me? Why is this upsetting me so much? And if I have my journal, I'll kind of remember to keep on that so I can move forward so it doesn't come back to kind of haunt me or make me feel bad about everything again. And it keeps me from getting super sad with myself or super depressed with myself. I definitely recommend it.
So you started a year ago, basically, because of the car accident, right?
More consistently, yes.
Well, what happened because of the car accident? Your brain got pressure on your brain, or what happened?
Yeah, I have a traumatic brain injury. The guy who hit me was going over 40 miles an hour, and instead of putting his foot on the brake, he put it on the gas. So he hit my car so hard I got knocked out, and my chair broke, actually. That's how much force there was. I woke up laying flat in my car, and I didn't know where I was. And I was just like, what is happening? And so, it's just since then I've been dealing with memory. I have stuttering sometimes. Sometimes I'll forget what I'm saying in the middle of what I'm saying. I have to think about it for a moment. It's been an interesting journey. I have to get surgery on my jaw, both sides of my jaw and my shoulder from the injuries I had from the car accident. So, but unfortunately, there's nothing they can do for my brain injury. That's just something I've been navigating and trying to find ways to get around it. And journaling has definitely helped with my memory. But learning to deal with like the thought process of everything. I don't know how to explain it. It's really hard to explain going from not having any issues to trying to collect your thoughts and putting the words in the right place and not accidentally putting a word that sounds the same in the place of another word. Because I was doing that really bad whenever the accident first started. And I was super self-conscious about that when I came back to broadcasting. I had taken a few weeks off. And when I had come back, I didn't realize how bad my word substitution was until I was watching my broadcast and I was like, ooh, okay. So just try not to really let that get to me. Again, it goes back to the journaling. It's just helped so much dealing with my trauma from everything and moving forward and figuring out kind of where to go from here, I guess.
I think you said in the pre-talk, it was basically like you wanted to say a sentence and you just flipped the words around so nobody could understand you, right?
Yes.
It was like, let's say, give me some water and you say like, but I need to go to the toilet. Either you really just flipped around what you wanted and people didn't know what you want actually at the end, right?
Yeah, it was super frustrating trying to communicate. Being able to talk but not say the right words is the most infuriating thing in the world.
Yeah, because it makes you question yourself and your ability to communicate, and it frustrates because you feel like you're a burden, I guess, even though people your friends were supporting you and your family during that time. As I understood, your mom, you were really close to your mom that time and she helped you with the communication, right?
Yeah, because she was able to understand what I was trying to say. Especially my best friend, English is not her first language, so I think that's why I'm so sorry. Nobody ever calls me. Let me turn off my ringtone.
That's what she said.
Right. So
Wait, I should turn off my phone.
I'm so sorry, guys.
I'm
Just like
fine.
Game of Thrones blasting out of nowhere. um,
Yeah, now we need to delete the stream.
yeah. I don't think it was long enough, thankfully.
3 seconds, right?
Yeah, I think it has to be like 5 or more, right, for it to flag or something. But I think because English was not her first language, she kind of caught on to when I was having communication problems of trying to say what I wanted to. And so her and my mom together helped. Like I'd be trying to say something and my mom would like be sitting there staring at me, like waiting to see if I'd get it or not. And then she'd be like, no, she means this. Like, thank you. Because I couldn't get it out for the life of me. I'd want to. And you could just see the frustration in my face of wanting to say things and not being able to get my thoughts together. I still have an issue with it to this day. I really have to think about what I'm saying before I say it. Otherwise, it makes no sense.
No, but I couldn't hear anything. Like, I don't think anyone would have see that you have an issue actually. So it looks like your progress within this 1 year is actually amazing. From what I understood, you started with in the beginning after the car accident.
Yeah.
So for me, I'm always fascinated about journaling, and I feel like I'm always like I should do it myself more often. I do it only occasionally, and I still think it's something really powerful because you can let go of your negative thoughts. You can let go of things which bothers you, and it can also help you to see more clearly what you actually want to do or what you want to achieve, whatever it is. What I started with is the only thing. What I started now with is like since our last Christmas show is really what am I grateful for? And this is one thing I'm journaling right now every night before I go to bed. And I want to keep that going till the end of the year. Let's see. I can do this.
Yeah, no, it's a good thing to kind of step back. And I think that's a great way to journal too, is what you are thankful for. That is a very good thing because it helps you realize, I think as humans, especially when we're so busy, we tend to forget what we do appreciate and what we do love about our lives and everything that's going on. And like I said, we start to focus on that negative, and to highlight that, before you go to bed, that's awesome. That's a good way to keep a positive mindset and keep going forward.
Yeah, I mean, and I think as long as we try to do something, to change something, habits we created, for long years, at the end, it's all a process, and we just need to keep going. And it's not so much about the goal; it's more about the, which way do I choose? Which way do I want to live? I had a question. Wait, why was changing your thought process? Why was it important for you? We kind of have the answer, I guess, but maybe we can bring it all together once more. Like, why was changing your thought process? Why was it so important?
I got tired of being depressed and unhappy. And so I knew that a good way to help me get out of my depression and letting it continue to kind of weigh me down was to change my mindset and be more positive, because it's hard to be sad when you're looking at the good things, because when you focus on the good things, it does make you happier. It makes you realize, hey, I've been doing all these things. Like, I've succeeded in finishing this class I thought I was never going to get through. I've been doing this. And when you focus on that, you're not, I suck at this and I'm never going to be good at it. Instead, you're focusing on, hey, I did it. It may not have been my strong suit, but I did it, and I should be proud of myself. And I really needed that in my life, because it's been difficult since my ex and I had broken up. And, I had to move back in with family, and working just here where I live. Just everything is so messed up. If I worked full time, I would only make enough money to pay to put my daughter in daycare. I wouldn't have had enough money for a house, or thankfully I had my car and it was paid off. So everything just kind of seemed negative.
You're still going to school, right?
Yep, I finished
studying,
this year.
What are you studying?
Graphic information technologies. It's basically a mix of 3D animation, cybersecurity, just technology mixed with graphics.
She's the deal, guys. Just saying. When you are in a when you feel like depression is coming up into you, what do you do? Are you reaching out for help? How do you break it?
I usually look for things that comfort me or things that help me kind of get out of that funk whenever I am in it. A lot of times that's either quiet time to myself. I don't know why, but just quiet time to myself is like the best thing on earth. Not having the TV on, not having video games on, just quiet, I feel like helps me think about what's going on and why I'm feeling depressed or what's really bothering me. Because sometimes I realize it's because of simple things like, oh, I didn't get out of the house for a week. I've just been inside doing homework with my daughter. And the most we've done is go outside to play in the backyard and stuff. But we haven't actually left the house. So when I sit there and I think about that, I'm like, okay, let's go for a walk or go to someone's house. Let's go to my best friend's house. Especially my best friend. She's awesome. She struggles with depression herself, but we can literally talk to each other about anything that's bothering us, and we're not judgmental to one another. And we just, we're like, oh, can I offer you advice, or do you just want to talk? And having that option of just venting when you need to vent has really helped me pull myself out of that depression funk. Having my best friend there has been so much help through everything. Anytime I'm sad, I'll just call her. I'll be like, I'm really sad and my depression's getting to me. And her response usually is, okay, come over and let's have dinner and have some drinks and let the girls play and we're going to relax and we're going to talk. Or we'll watch a movie or we're going to do this. And, just having that person there to say, okay, let's fight this. Yeah. And, let's see what's going on. What can we do to help make you happy? Helps a lot. And I know a lot of people may not have that. I know there are times when she wasn't available and I needed that time again. I just realized that quiet has helped me so much, and just kind of collecting my thoughts. And a lot of the time that includes journaling, writing it down and sitting there and just getting it out, waiting a little while and reading it, and kind of justifies my feeling and how I'm feeling when I don't have someone else to speak with. And then I'll feel better after.
Because you let it out.
Yes. Yeah.
Why is not being judgmental so important?
Oh my gosh, it's so important. I feel like it's kind of hard to explain. Like the whole bad day thing. I have run into so many people, just giving them a simple compliment, even when they're being mean to me, has turned around their attitude, and they've turned around and told me things like this one woman, when I was working at an eye care clinic, had come in, she wanted to try on glasses, and all the other techs were like, this woman is unreasonable, she's crazy, you can't deal with her. So I went out there and I was like, okay, I guess I'll try to talk to her to see what, maybe I could figure out what's going on. And I helped her pick out glasses. And then all of a sudden, I told her, I was like, oh, these glasses complement your face so well. They're going to be really beautiful on you.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden she started telling me about things that were going on in her life. And I was like, okay, I'm going to stop and I'm going to listen, because she's reaching out. It may not be the right place to reach out, but she's reaching out. She's literally giving people a call for help, and they were ignoring it. And so I sat there and I talked to her about it, and she immediately calmed down. We got her glasses picked out, everything done, and she turns around before she leaves and she's like, I just want to thank you so much for being so kind and so nice to me today, because I was feeling really sad and suicidal, and I don't know why, but talking to you today has made me feel so much happier. And I just want to tell you thank you so much from the bottom of my heart, and you have no idea how much I appreciate your kindness today. And then she left. And it's so hard not to be judgmental. Like I said, somebody could be having the worst day ever, and it comes off to us like, God, that guy's, he's mean or whatever. But I always try to step back and say, okay, this person's having a really bad day. I don't think that people are just innately mean or rude. And it's so hard not to judge them off of that. And then like me, I'm fat. I may not look like a normal gaming broadcaster for a lot of the girls that are on the platform. But not being judgmental is just one of the best things you can do for not only yourself, but other people. Don't judge people by outward appearances or your first meeting with them. I don't know how to exactly explain it. It's so hard to explain. But judgment can make a lot of people unhappy, and we should be looking to make each other more happy and more of a community and more friendly. I feel like judgment is just pulling people down and spreading negativity instead of positivity. And we really need that, especially after this entire COVID year. We really need to stop being judgmental. We really need to stop being mean to each other. Where we're never going to change and be better. It's just going to get worse and worse and worse. It's not going to get better.
I mean, maybe we just need to listen more.
Yes.
Like,
definitely.
I feel like listening is a skill. It's most of us just, never learned or don't know what it is. Like, I see it like a lot with my kids. Like, I feel like sometimes I'm not listening enough. They are telling me stuff over and over again. I'm not listening. If I would just take more time, it would be sometimes easier if I just listen, because they're really trying hard to tell you something. And it's the same with adults sometimes. If people are complaining or frustrated and they want to say something, but it's sometimes not the obvious thing, TrustedBeard, you have a question for me? Wait, why does it seem like every guest you have, the one common thing they all share is that they are the ones who always seem to take the high road, whether it's a nice compliment or extending an olive branch or just doing the right thing? I don't know. Maybe I don't know. That's a good question. Well, almost every guest you have had an experience hardship in some way, yet each guest was either working or changed their life. Well, I mean, that's the one thing. That's the one thing we are looking for here right now. But on the other thing, it's also not hard. I feel every person, everyone in here, everyone in this chat here, I think you all have a story to tell. You all have something you lived through, or you came out stronger, even though you maybe don't know about it. So I think it's not even, the specific guess, but yes, I'm looking for that. That's actually true, because I feel that we all can learn something from each other. And every time so far, I ended the stream. It took me like 3 days to look back, and then I saw like, oh, this story is really amazing. Like this is something I learned from that person, or this is something that I learned from this person. And I think by sharing your experience tonight with us, maybe we will have some similar experience someday, and then we think about your story, and maybe it gives us hope. Maybe it helps us to see it from another perspective.
So, seeing other people pull through hard times in their lives can be really inspiring to help other people realize, I'm looking at what's going on in my life the wrong way, and I can really turn this around and be better on the other at the end of it. The outcome can be better than what I'm making it right now. And sometimes that does take seeing somebody else that you can relate to, having a similar situation. And then you realize, okay, maybe that will help me. And everybody's different. Every person heals differently. Every person fights their battles differently. And sometimes the more we know about different people and their situations, it'll help us find ways to cope with things in our own lives, which is awesome. I think that's a very good thing to show, we're all human. We all go through really, really, really bad times. But, the great thing about being human is we usually build ourselves back up and get through it.
Yeah. And I think, I don't know if I'm right, but that what Beard said, like it's wild to watch and hear each guest relive their whole past X number of years, see the emotion in their faces, then to the positivity and happiness that is the outcome. Do you think you're truly happy, or would you feel more related to the statement that happiness is something you battle for each day, but you're more in peace now with the battle and the whole thing itself? I don't know if I could set that right, if you understand me.
No, I understand. I think I'm just at peace with everything. I'm still fighting the battle of going back to being normal, I guess. I wouldn't really quite call it normal, but, fighting these battles, I just look forward to what my goal is, and that's being happy every day. And happiness is something that you create for yourself. Like, there's no magic way to be happy, unfortunately. It's something you actively have to
work on yourself, right?
And it's something that every day you have to say, I choose happiness. I don't choose negativity. So, I've been through a lot of crazy things, but I still try to look for the positive in every situation and move from there. And it's really, really hard to combat negativity and sadness. But when you do, you feel so much better once you realize you made it through that journey or that hardship. You look back on it and you're proud of yourself. You're like, oh, wow. I didn't think I was going to make it through that, but I did. And so sometimes looking at things that you've experienced and moving forward, it does help. It helps you understand that you can continue to fight and be happier every day and continue to do it. Just keep working towards your goals.
Yeah, I think Beard is right. If it comes back to that physical fitness thing I commented before, sitting here watching you speak, Scribble, I see the mental growth, just like a bodybuilder. So you're a mental bodybuilder. You may not be at your peak, but the growth is there. Keep going on. Yeah, and that's true. I think so as well.
Yes.
And
I agree, Trusted.
And that's why I think it's really amazing. And what for me was amazing to hear and see, as I understood it, that you decided to go on this path by yourself. Like, even though, you had a 6-month-old baby, you're waking up from your boyfriend, you had to move back home, you're in the middle of nowhere, but somehow you found this process of creating something for your own and taking ownership, taking ownership for yourself, taking ownership for your thoughts. And this is something so powerful, I think, that I have deepest respect for, to be honest. Like I help you, so many times I feel like this is on me. I decide how I take this situation. It has nothing to do with the outside. It's me in the inside. And this is something which is really tough sometimes, letting stuff not drag you down, and taking ownership for that, even though you can't do nothing about it because it is from the outside, but at the end, it's how I feel from the inside.
Yes.
I would like to I would like to know, like, what games are you playing currently? Uh, yeah, what games are you playing currently?
Right now, I I have these kicks where I play one game consistently so much, and then I get sick of it, and I'm like, okay, I gotta play something else. So now I'm back on Call of Duty again, and Apex because I really like the competitive side of both games, even though I swear Call of Duty is just designed to make you angry.
Guys, give
But
her
I
a follow
still
if you
have
can
so
here,
much
by the
fun.
way. Here's a link again.
Um,
That's great. And I saw you
yeah.
playing Minecraft as well, right? I watched a few of your mini clips, and I actually thought about showing this one mini clip of you who burned my cat.
Oh yeah, my friend lit my
That
house
was
on
so
fire.
funny. Yeah,
Yeah.
who put my house on fire?
Yeah.
Oh, hey cat, how you doing?
Yeah, that was completely a mistake on his part. He didn't mean to. He was just trying to mess around. And then the fire started spreading. He ended up killing one of my cats. I was so upset about it. I was just like, dude, you killed my cat.
Yeah, that
On.
was really sweet.
Mhm.
I love that. What are games you're looking forward to in 2021? Is there anything you're looking forward to?
I am horrible, and I actually have not been keeping up except with, for whatever reason, the title is left my brain, but it's basically Left 4 Dead 4. I think it's back for, or I can't remember the name of it. It's gonna drive me crazy.
What a
It's
game?
coming out. It's coming out this next month. Back for Blood.
Back 4 Blood.
Yes.
There you
Yes.
go. We have cat here.
Yes. Lifesaver there with the title. I'm so excited for that.
Back 4 Blood.
I
Okay.
loved the Left 4 Dead series. I thought they were amazing. They were a lot of fun. There was a lot of content. I never got sick of that game. I could play it every single day and I would never get bored with it. And
What platform are you on again?
I do Xbox PC.
Xbox and PC, was it right? Okay.
Yes.
That's
Yeah,
great.
so I'm definitely excited for that. I haven't been paying too much attention for anything else and just kind of waiting for Cyberpunk to finish working out their little kinks. I have been having a lot of fun on there, but I did take a little bit of a break because I was broadcasting it nonstop for like the first week and a half.
Yeah.
And I noticed like people stopped coming by because they were bored. So I was like, okay, I need to break this up. I need to go back to playing stuff that, other people can play with me and we can all hang out and enjoy ourselves. And so I took a little bit of a break, but also I was getting kind of frustrated with the game crashing every once in a while. But
Yeah.
other than that, that game is just amazing. I don't know if you've played it yet or not, but
Yeah, I didn't play it yet, unfortunately. I so wanted to play it, and then I don't know. I still have two games I didn't play through, and I kind of don't want to buy another game right now because I feel like I'm buying all these games and then I don't play them. It just don't get the time. But I definitely would love to do it, especially because I love to take screenshots, and this game just looks so amazing for that.
Oh yes, definitely. They have a picture mode too.
Yeah,
where
exactly.
you can move your characters around and pose them. My boyfriend was showing me that you can actually change their poses and move them around and make it look like a little action scene and take the picture.
That
so
looks
I thought that was really cool.
amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would love that actually. So
Mhm.
alone for that, I think I would like to buy it. But then again, I would like to buy it for PC and not for PS4, what I currently have.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I'm kind of in a struggle with where do I spend my money, Like
Yeah.
what first? And I feel like PC should be first right now.
Yes, definitely. The graphics alone for PC are just mind-blowing. Like they're great on console, but PC, especially if you have a
Mhm.
decent graphics card, it's insane. They look very realistic.
Mhm.
Sorry, I got hiccups.
Oh, good. I didn't realize. What are you, if you, let's talk about do's and don'ts as a female streamer. I would like to put that out quick here. What are your thoughts on do's and don'ts for female streamers, especially these days?
Gosh, I would just say my only don't would be don't buy into that you have to be a specific way to get a following or a community. Like, I know that there are a lot of female broadcasters out there that right now have started switching over to doing what's that site called? Like they've started doing OnlyFans and taking kind of risky photos and stuff like that. And a lot of my female friends that have come to me, they're like, would I get a following faster if I do this? And it's like, yes and no.
Mm-hmm.
It depends on how you want to portray yourself. Like, don't let society dictate how you want to represent yourself on your stream.
Mm-hmm.
Don't try to take the easy way to try and grow your channel. Be yourself, have fun. People are going to come because they enjoy you for your content and your personality and how you're gaming. I mean, you don't have to do other things that you don't want to do. If you want to do that, by all means, do it. That's awesome. I'm not judging that. That is because I have a lot of friends that do. I guess it's like sex work. I have no judgment there.
What? Wait, what did you say?
It's called sex work. So OnlyFans is considered sex work. Because I mean, a lot of the photos are nude. I mean, you can have OnlyFans that does not have anything nude, but a majority of the female broadcasters have been taking into the more of the sex work line of it. And by all means, you're making money off it. You're happy with it, do it. But don't think that to be a successful gaming broadcaster, you have to do that, especially as a woman.
No.
Don't.
I mean, at the end, you don't have to do anything.
Exactly.
Find yourself, and I feel also like being yourself is at the end the easier way than trying to be something you're not. And if you want to be something you're not, let's say you want to be Dr. Disrespect. I'm just saying because he's a good actor. You know what? Yeah, I mean, from that point of view, if you want to act, then you have to think through the whole concept and really have to work hard on yourself, because that is not something you just put on like a face mask.
No, and it's hard to. I don't think I'd ever be able to like portray myself as like a character or like act like Dr. Disrespect can do that, and then he goes back to his normal life and does whatever. I can't do that. I have the hardest time trying to put on like an act or
I don't think it's easy though. Like
it's not.
Let's say like this. I worked for quite. Well, I'm still working sometimes, but I worked before for quite a few years in the filming business, film industry. And what I saw there a lot was, especially like also big actors, is that I think the main issue is if you play a role, then very often they take this role they play in front of the camera, they take this role home. So I think it's really tough sometimes for people to split up, like, who am I now? And then I'm this role, and let go of it. Like, especially like, let's say we are talking about Dr. Disrespect. I think I saw from him a few tweets about him not being in a good place after he got banned from Twitch and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I feel maybe he has the same issues as we all do, you know, trying to keep up, trying to be, you know, the strong person, you know, everyone is looking up to, but in the inside you have the same balance, you know, like you and me. So finding this balance is really hard. Ken, what do you see? Do you feel like female content creators who do use OnlyFans and stream risky content negatively affect, or that's a good question, other female creators who don't do those things, especially in terms of how people, especially men, treat those content creators? Good question. Thank you.
That's a very good question. I used to think that way. I used to think that women who would stream with like really purposely low cut shirts on or like little tube tops on poorly represented the gaming community. But what specifically is the gaming community? I mean, we can't say it's this one specific thing or this other specific thing. We're all different. We all game differently. We're content creators. And so everyone's content can be different. And so I feel like if you want your content to be that way, again, by all means, do it that way. Or if you want to be where you're just completely covered up. I mean, some people wear masks. They have this whole facade of, well, I'll never show my face and things like that. I don't really think it has a negative effect. I think people sometimes think that it does, but I've been on here for so long and I've seen so many successful female gaming broadcasters that don't do risky content, and the majority of them are usually extremely popular, and then you have a few that do risky content. I don't even know if I'm allowed to name them because of the Twitch
You probably I
terms
have
of
no idea.
service.
I have no
Well,
idea.
as partner, I know we're not allowed to talk about, I think, specific other broadcasters, but
Well,
but I mean, there's other women that do it and they're very popular, but they're providing content and right. I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. I don't think it's a negative light. I feel like we put that on ourselves. It's more of a mindset of ourselves more than anything. I feel like the majority of men who do say that women who do risky content have more followers because they do risky content is a reflection of their poor, what's the word I'm looking for? Like they're just not doing a good job of being a content creator themselves. So the easy way to do it is say, oh, it's because this girl has a low cut shirt, so that's why she's successful and I'm not. Because you can be a great content creator and not be risky.
mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I feel like it's just, I don't know how to explain it. I'm having a hard time explaining it.
I mean, maybe it's also just the easy way. It's the easy way to say from the male perspective to say like, well, you're only successful because you have boobs, you know?
Yeah.
I mean,
I've been told that too, especially when I first started, whenever it was just in TV. And it's like, no, actually, it was because I was really, really good at Modern Warfare 2. So a lot of people are in there because they liked my gameplay
mm-hmm.
versus I was a young girl on camera.
Mm-hmm.
So.
No, I mean, you definitely started a good time, I think, as well, you know? Like, you started really early with streaming.
Yes.
That was definitely probably all good. I'm just thinking, like, back to the question of Kat, like, maybe it's just ways of thinking which are all in our minds, you know, like being judgmental about, you know, you're a female streamer, so it's easier for you, or you're a female streamer, you know, well, he said the negatively affect. I'm just thinking, right, so many thoughts came into my mind when you were talking about that. I think there are so many ways you can view on the thing. It's not, for me, it's not an easy yes or no question.
Mm-mm.
Like
there's so many avenues.
Yeah,
to that.
It's really difficult. But I love the question. Thank you, Kat. Also, anyone else here in the chat, if you have any question whatsoever to Scribble Ninja here, please just shoot.
Yes.
I have one last question for you, and I just want to ask it because I love talking about it. What are you grateful for right now?
Right now?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh. I actually was thinking about this yesterday because we had the 10-year anniversary the other night, and I'm just so thankful to have such a supportive community here on Twitch.
Mm-hmm.
I have made so many friends over the years that are almost like family, and I've been continuing, especially this last year. I don't know what it was about this last year that was just so phenomenal, but we've had just nonstop growth and community and just this closeness of we're all struggling, and it's been more of like an understanding that life is difficult and life is hard. And I'm just so thankful that, you know, everyone is trying to just get through it together. And I'm thankful that I'm finally going to just be finishing school as well. Like I said, I should have graduated last spring, not this spring, but the car accident and everything, since I couldn't put thoughts together, there was no way I was going to finish school that semester. I would have failed out of all my classes. So the easiest thing for me to do was take that medical leave for the year. And I don't know, I'm just so thankful. It sounds horrible. I know this was a very bad thing that happened in my life, but I'm also thankful that I went through it, because I felt like I showed myself that even though I had a lot taken from me this year, I have still been working so hard to be resilient and move forward and stay positive through everything and achieve my goals. And I don't even know. It's just, I don't know how to explain it. I'm just very thankful that I had my community, and I guess my positive outlook came in very handy this last year, especially with everything. You know, I had a lot of really bad downs, and I'm just so glad that I was able to pull myself back out and say, hey, you know, this isn't going to stop me from doing what I want to do.
Yeah, I feel you there. Also, like, I mean, I'm mostly active within the Battlefield 5 community or Battlefield community. And so ever since they stopped their service for Battlefield, it felt like there's a lot of toxicity, or even before there was a lot of toxicity going on. Everyone was complaining about, you know, this community is so bad, whatever. But I must say, I feel recently more and more like it's amazing how many people are there for each other. It's amazing how many people are willing to help, to support, to listen. Like I know, like, you know, each and everyone you hear in the chat, for example, I know, you know, I can message you if I have a bad day or I need help or I need to talk to somebody. You know, you're there. And I mean, what's greater than that? You know, how can I not be grateful for something like that? And it is amazing. And if you have your own community who's doing that, you know, that is definitely something which we can be grateful for, especially in these times.
Yes.
Thank you. So if do you think I feel like, did I miss anything out of your story? Is there anything, you know, you can share with us, like, to finalize what we, you know, what is the message of the day? Oh, you know what? I have a beautiful question. Cool. Imagine you can pull up a billboard today in front of your town, and everyone can read one big billboard message from you. What would be there on this billboard?
Gosh.
Big question.
Gosh, that's a good question. It's really hard. Honestly, I mean, I feel like it's been like my entire life motto to myself is just keep moving forward and stay positive, because that's pretty much what I have to tell myself almost on a daily basis. You know, there's so many days where I'm doing homework and I'm like, I really don't want to do this, but I'm like, but I'm so close to the end. I just need to keep moving. And I need to remain positive, because the more positive I am, the better I do on my homework. And then I feel good when I'm done. And I'm going to be happy when I'm done. And be like, hey, look what I did. Went through a lot of crazy stuff this last 4 years while I was finishing my degree. But I didn't let it affect me. I kept going. And now I'm going to have this awesome thing that's going to help me through the rest of my life. I don't know. Just stay happy, stay positive, and keep moving.
Yeah.
I have no idea how else to explain it.
No, that's I think we all got it, you know. And I think there's definitely something we can remind ourselves more often, I guess. You know, I needed to say to that to myself a lot of times this week, believe me. And I mean, but what I find interesting for myself is that I'm very emotional sometimes, you know. I have like ups and downs, you know. I don't think I'm super balanced. Like myself, like, and when something negative comes around, I tend to go into the shock phase. But I feel like over the years now, I learned that to get out of this phase easier, to look from the outside perspective,
Yes.
rather than, focusing too much on what I can't change and trying to see what I can change. So
Yes.
but it's a struggle. Like it's not something, you just click off and then, it's gone again. It's more like a process, right?
Yep, exactly. It is a process. It's hard to, like we were talking about earlier, rewire your brain to take that moment to stop and think about what's going on
Yeah.
and kind of analyze what you need to do or how you can make better of the situation instead of looking at the negative.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. All right. Thank you so much, Scribble. Thank you so much for sharing your story.
Yeah,
Thank you
definitely.
so much, Chat, here, for being so active and for being here tonight. Exactly. Thank you, Joe, for putting the link out here again.
Thank
Give her
you.
a follow, guys. Check out our community. It's really fun to watch her gaming and playing. You have your schedule, I think, on your page as well, right?
Yes, it's on the bottom part of my Twitch channel there.
Perfect. Perfect. Thank you.